I'm attempting to complete every single GameCube game, and I'm using a random number generator to pick the next game. Last episode, we saved the world in a JRPG and played Evolution Worlds. And in this episode, we're commanding our squad and playing Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon was released on February 11, 2003, and was developed by Red Storm Entertainment and published by Ubisoft. This was an enjoyable experience, even though the AI in this game is awful. Before we get started, make sure to like this video because it helps out the channel, and subscribe if you're new so you don't miss any of the future games. Without further ado, this is my experience with Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. In Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, we're going to go through the campaign mode to consider this one complete. The campaign has a total of 15 missions, most of them having the same objectives but in different areas. Each mission has objectives we need to complete during them to consider them complete. Most missions only have 3 objectives and a bonus objective that we don't have to meet but gives us full credit for finishing the level if we do. I don't think it adds anything extra to the game, just something else to do during the missions. So let's head right into this one and start with Mission 1. In Mission 1, we have to enter a region that is mostly woods, grass, and mountains, and complete 3 objectives and a bonus objective. The first thing we have to do is neutralize tent camp troops. Pretty simple. Then secure the caves in the back of the area and return to the insertion zone to finish the mission. The bonus objective in this mission is to capture Pashfavili. I definitely said that wrong. This is an area on the map that we don't have to go to, but we can if we want. I didn't do this during the mission because I was learning how to play the game. Before we get into the gameplay of this game, I should sum up the story so we know what the missions are all about. In 2008, ultra-nationalists take over the regime in Russia and restore the former Soviet Union, which causes the US to get involved and send in their elite ghost soldiers. That's the squads we're going to be playing as during the game, and we're going to interfere in their internal affairs to stop all this from taking place. Before we head into the mission, we can pick the soldiers we want to bring with us for that mission. The first mission doesn't really matter because none of them have upgrades to make them any better. I want to point out that it is important to pay attention to some missions because we'll need grenade launchers or explosives to complete certain objectives, and if we don't have anyone in our squads, then we don't have any way to do them, and we're going to have to start the mission over and come back. I did this a couple times during my playthrough of the game because I was not paying any attention. We can pick our soldiers by their class, and there is a total of 4 classes in the game. We can bring a rifleman, support, demolitions, or sniper soldier with us, but we can only have 3 people per team, so diversifying your team is the best choice. We'll cover the upgrades when we can actually do them after the mission, but for now, let's move into the gameplay. Ghost Recon is a first-person shooter that allows for us to give out simple tasks to the rest of our team and to the other squad. This includes reconning an area, having the soldiers hold in place, or defending a specific spot. It's very simple, so it's something that you probably won't use because it's better to just take whoever you're controlling in battle to achieve all your goals. When moving on the battlefield, we can run into enemy soldiers and have a gunfight with them. The AI in this game isn't great, and there are times that they won't even notice you when you're standing like 3 feet away from them. But then there's times that they are the best shooters on the planet and will take you out in one shot. The one thing I would mention is that you can't take much damage or your soldier will die. This doesn't seem to be too much of a problem, but when someone dies, they're dead for good, and we can't use them ever again. So if we took the time to upgrade a soldier for a few missions, it could take a heavy toll on our teams if they were to die. Anyways, for this mission, we fight a few guys in the open, and I lost one of my soldiers. But after getting used to the controls for a bit, we're able to win that firefight and go around the map and take most of the other soldiers out until we find our way into the caves in the back of the area. Once inside, we're able to rescue the captured soldier and then slowly make our way back to the insertion zone. This allows for us to complete the mission and finish the first one of the game. At the end of each mission, we always get a little cutscene FMV that just shows us leaving or something getting destroyed. It doesn't really add anything to the game, but they look good even after all these years. On to mission 2. This mission has 3 objectives again. We have to rescue a pilot, rescue a weapons officer, and then get them to the extraction zone. The bonus of this mission is destroy the Avinox. I think I said that correctly. which I don't even know what those are, but if you do, let me know what they are down in the comments below, because I'm actually curious. Before we start the mission, we can upgrade our soldiers now. When upgrading the soldiers, we can upgrade 4 different categories. Weapons, which increases their accuracy and aiming of the weapon they're using. Stealth, which enhances our ability to be undetected and reduces the noise we make while moving. Endurance, which improves our recovery time when taking hits and our ability to survive. And Leadership, which for every 3 points, everyone else in the same squad gains an extra point to their statistics. That's all the upgrades, and they can be helpful as we move our way through the game. Mission 2 takes place at night, so we have the cover of night to help us through the mission. I used a sniper soldier in this mission, and I want to point out how overpowered the sniper is in this game. It has distance, and it's a one-shot kill. And since the AI is so bad, we don't even have to worry about getting shot from that distance. I end up making the sniper super strong by the end of the game. After taking out a few enemies at the beginning of the mission, we can move on to the objectives. During this mission, we're clearing out this house and one of my riflemen get taken out. So I move in with another soldier from the team, and when I come upstairs in the same exact place where I died before, the soldier that killed me is just standing there and doesn't do anything to try to kill us at all. He's just stationary. This is what I'm talking about with the AI. After clearing the house, we rescue the weapons officer and we can move on to save the pilot. To save the pilot, we have to clear out this barn with a bunch of soldiers inside. However, the problem here is that they don't even notice us and it's super easy, allowing for us to save the pilot and head to the extraction zone. Once there, we complete the mission and get another FMV of us leaving the area. That's mission number 2. The last thing I want to point out is that we can check the stats of each soldier after each mission. It can tell us how many kills we got, how many shots we took, and our hit percentage. If the soldier's name shows up yellow, they were wounded during the mission, and if it's red, then they died and didn't make it through the mission. Our sniper and demolition guy on squad B did all the work, but we lost the rifleman from the squad, unfortunately. On to mission 3. We're going to be moving through these much quicker now because I think I covered everything the game has to offer. So we're going to talk about objectives and then anything important that happens during each mission. Mission 3 has 3 objectives as well. We have to destroy the Northeast Patrol, destroy the Southwest Patrol, and prevent HQ breach to complete the mission. We also have the bonus objective of having no NATO casualties. So that being said, we head into the mission and get to the northeast of the area and take out the patrol that is there. I decided to lay down with the sniper and take them out, but I was wounded in the process, so I almost lost my sniper early on. While wounded, I decided to lay on the bridge and take out the Southwest Patrol. Being this far away from them, it was super easy to take them out and complete this objective. Now we have to protect HQ from tanks and soldiers. This is one of those moments that we have to have someone with a grenade launcher to take them out. We're able to do this by hiding in the bushes and just take a few shots at each tank. They didn't even notice us, so we were in good shape. However, we lost our demo soldier from one of the ground units, causing us to fail the bonus objective for this mission. But using the sniper soldier, I was able to take out the last soldier that was hiding in a bush and complete the mission. We were so close to finishing this mission without losing anyone, but we did end up losing someone right at the end. We get another FMV showing the tanks that we blew up, and that ends mission 3. Mission 4 has us heading into Georgia, and we have 3 objectives in this mission. The first one is to secure the crossroads, then contact the UN troops, and then return them to the extraction zone. Our bonus objective is to make sure that none of the UN troops get killed during the mission, so pretty simple. So let's get mission 4 out of the way. First, we have to secure the crossroads by taking out all the soldiers in this old village area, where there's a gas station and a couple of buildings. Nothing too hard here. Then at the top of the road, the UN soldiers are trapped and they're about to get unloaded on, but we're there to save the day and took out all the enemies. We're able to make contact with the UN soldiers and complete that objective. Then we just have to get them back to the extraction zone to complete the mission. We're able to complete all of the objectives in mission 4 and get an FMV showing us extracting from the area. On to mission 5. Mission 5 has another 3 objectives complete. The first one is to secure the bank in town, then investigate the crash site for our helicopter, and finally get to the extraction zone in the middle of the city. We have a bonus objective to make sure no civilians are killed during the mission, so let's start mission 5. When we start the mission, we head into the city and find the bank right away. We take out a few guards from outside of the bank and then head inside to clear out the rest of it. I was basically speedrunning it at this point because the game was super easy, and once you get used to controls, there's not really an issue. After clearing out a few streets, we make our way to the helicopter crash site, and when we arrive there is a bunch of enemy soldiers that we have to take out. No issue really. The extraction point is guarded by tanks, and this is where I ran into my first problem. Remember how I mentioned that you should read the mission and think about the soldiers you should bring with you? Well, I needed to blow up the tanks, but I didn't have a demo soldier in either team, so I couldn't blow them up to trigger the extraction zone. So I had to restart the whole mission over with a demo soldier on my team, and make sure that he didn't get taken out during the first two parts, so that when we got to the end, I could take out the tanks. This mission wasn't hard, but I had to do it twice because I wasn't paying attention to the mission breakdown. Once we get extracted, we get an FMV where a helicopter is coming down but is blown up from some more tanks that have arrived, and that ends Mission 5. Moving on to Mission 6. Mission 6 has another 3 objectives that we need to complete and a bonus objective. The first thing we have to do is gather intel from the southeast house, then gather intel from the northwest house, and then get to the extraction zone. Our bonus objective is destroy the SAM site, which is very easy, but I know we need a demo soldier for this mission to get all the objectives. The first thing we do in this mission is blow up the SAM site because it was the closest to us when we spawned into the area. Once in the middle of the area, there are a bunch of houses we have to clear out because we need to get that intel. The first one took a lot longer because there was a lot of soldiers in the area. So I was running into all the houses and taking out the soldiers before I found the first piece of intel. And then the next piece was super easy to find because it was the only house that I hadn't been in at that point. Intel collected, so now we need to make it to the extraction point. On our way to the extraction zone, we ran into a bunch of soldiers that I decided to take out, and this triggered a different win objective. If we cleared out all the enemies in the mission would be over too. Which I did because I cleared everything out in the middle area. This was a nice little surprise. We get another FMV when finishing the mission, and this just shows us leaving on a raft, and that concludes Mission 6. Mission 7 is up next, and this is another mission with 3 objectives and a bonus objective. First we have to destroy the east pylon, and then we have to destroy the west pylon, and then we have to make our way back to the extraction zone. The bonus objective in this mission is to eliminate Camp Garrison, so let's see how this mission turned out. The first thing we did was clear out the tanks and soldiers on top of the bridge to get to the other side of the area. This was super easy because they didn't even notice us. Then we destroyed the east pylon by setting an explosive charge on it, headed over to Camp Garrison and took out all of the soldiers hanging out there, and then we finally found our way to the west pylon and planted explosives on it. On our way to the extraction zone, we took out some soldiers and we get this same win objective as the last mission. We took out all the soldiers so we didn't have to get to the extraction zone, and the mission just ended. We're greeted with an FMV of explosives finally going off and destroying the bridge from the beginning of the mission. This completes Mission 7 and we're over halfway through the game. Mission 8 is up next, and we have 3 objectives and a bonus objective for this mission as well. First, we need to secure the village, destroy the east artillery, and then destroy the north artillery. The bonus objective for this mission is to protect our friendly tank. This mission takes place during a rainstorm, and the village we're securing isn't much of a village at all. It just has broken down buildings with enemy soldiers hanging out in them. Then we head to both artillery locations and blow up some tanks to complete the mission. We didn't have any issues during this mission, so our tank survived too. Mission 8 is complete, and we get an FMV of our troops moving through the area with all the tanks on fire. On to Mission 9. Mission 9 has 3 objectives and a bonus objective. We first have to clear the northern island, then clear the eastern island, and then clear the western island. It's pretty simple. We need to capture the Russian officer as the bonus objective along the way. This is another rainy mission that takes place in what looks like a swampy area. I didn't have any issues during this mission, and it really just gets summed down into taking down a bunch of soldiers on each island and moving to the next one. I didn't capture the Russian officer, but I was able to take care of everything else. Once the mission is complete, we get another FMV that shows all the soldiers lying around the area that we took out during the mission, and that completes Mission 9. That's a simple, fast mission. Mission 10 has 3 objectives and a bonus objective as well. In this one, we have to secure the University Square, secure the Presidential Palace, and then secure the Cathedral Square. The bonus objective is to protect all of our tanks and not let any of them explode. This mission takes place in a giant city area and blow up all the enemy tanks in each area to secure them. We start out of order because we can cut through the alleys to get to the presidential palace first. Then we track back to clear out the first area. It doesn't have much going on, but we're going to be destroying a bunch of tanks throughout this mission, so we need to have a couple demo soldiers in our squads. When we get to the Cathedral Square, this area has 4 tanks on its own. They don't really pay attention to us at all, so we can just walk around and destroy them one at a time. Once we blow up the last one, we complete the mission and even got the bonus objective for this one. The FMV for this one just shows tanks going through the city. It's short and nothing happens in it. On to mission 11. This mission has 3 objectives and a bonus objective. We have to secure the entrance, then rescue the NATO prisoners of war and get to the extraction zone with them. Our bonus objective is to rescue Morishkin, who I have no idea who that is, but that's the bonus. This takes place in prison at nighttime, and we just have to take out a few soldiers at the entrance to secure it. And then we can head inside and take out a bunch of soldiers till we come across the NATO POWs, and then work our way out of the prison. This mission is super easy and nothing really happens because we're doing this under the cover of night. We even got the bonus objective by saving Morishkin, and then we get an FMV of us flying out of the area on a helicopter. I know that one seems really quick, but there wasn't anything going on in the mission. On to mission 12. This mission has 3 objectives. We have to plant a demo in sub-pen 51, plant a demo in sub-pen 52, and then get to the extraction zone. Our bonus objective is to plant a demo in the fuel depot, which we'll just run into while we're doing the other objectives, so this was an easy one. The pens are submarines in the harbor, I'm guessing. That's all that's really there. We plan a demo on a submarine. This mission takes place at night, and we're just going around an enemy harbor setting demos. So we have to make sure that we have a demo soldier in our squad for this mission. I'm not going to go over this section that much because it's just planting explosives and moving on. The extraction zone is pretty far away, but we're able to make it there and get an FMV where all the explosives go off and we destroy everything in the harbor. On to mission 13. 4 objectives and no bonus objective for this mission. We have to secure the control tower, destroy the S-37 Burkut, destroy the KA-50 Hokum, and get to the extraction zone. So we finally got a mission with an extra mandatory objective, this far into the game. So let's jump into the mission and see how it plays out. Securing the control tower was actually really fun, because the enemies just kept running into the same doorway, and I was able to just sit there and take them out one by one until we completed this objective. We're able to get to the Holcomb first to place an explosive on it. This is a helicopter, in case anyone was wondering. Then we took out a few more enemies and placed the demo on the Burkut, which is some sort of stealth fighter jet. And then since everyone was dead, we just walked back to the extraction zone and completed the mission without losing anyone from either squad. We get an FMV of the jet and helicopter exploding, and we completed mission number 13. Mission 14 has 4 objectives. We have to take the North Pass, take the South Pass, take the top of the hill, and then neutralize the Russian camp. We're actually in Russia for this mission now, and this mission feels like we should have done it way earlier in the game. The mission has us running around a mountainy area and taking out enemies on top of the rocks for the first 3 objectives. And then after those are complete, we go to the back of that area where there are some tents to take out the last bit of soldiers completing the mission. We get an FMV showing that we can head into Moscow now, and that there is an attack happening in the main area of the city. That's going to be the setting for the final mission of the game. So let's move on to mission 15 and find out what our objectives are for that mission. In mission 15, we have to relieve the pinned down troops in the city, take Nikosovka Tower, take Spazkaya Tower. I probably messed up both of those. And then our bonus objective is avoiding having any civilians being killed during all the fighting. This mission takes place in the city of Moscow, and the first thing we have to do is run to the other side of where we spawn to relieve the pinned down soldiers. There are only a few enemies in the area, so it doesn't take long. Even though I thought the person on the edge of the building was friendly because he didn't look like he was trying to shoot at us or shoot at the other troops. Once completed, we have to go through this shopping center to get to the far side of the map. This will allow for us to secure the towers. This part is simple too. There are a few ground units, one mounted machine gun, and a tank for each tower. As long as we have a demo soldier to take out the tanks, the rest of this mission is simple. When we get there, the tank approaches us first, so we take it out, and then we just have to stand there and take out the mounted machine gun and all the surrounding troops to secure the first tower. Now we need to get to the other side of the same area and do the same thing. For this being the final mission of the game, it ended up being super easy. Once we take out the tank and the machine gun, we complete the mission and complete the game. We get one more FMV showing us all patrolling around the city with the American flag held high. We took care of the situation and the conflict is over. Then it fades to black and the credits start to roll. Ghost Recon is finished. Would I recommend this game? I think I would recommend this game because some of the missions are fun and upgrading the soldiers builds some sort of bond with them, making me want to play safer than I normally would. The only issue I had was the AI. It's so bad sometimes, making the game feel way too easy. But let me know what you think about it in the comments below. If you want to know what's next, stick around, but if not, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe, like, and share this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Everything is ready to go. We got our game list on this side. We have our number generator in the middle. And on the count of 3, we're going to find out what we're playing next. So 3, 2, 1. We got 93, which is Def Jam Fight for New York. I don't know how this one is. I remember playing Def Jam at some point in my life.